Let's keep it that way. How about it? I am now using OBS's studio mode, which means that I can actually edit scenes while they're not on screen, which in theory sounds amazing because I can change the starting soon screen to be bright. Be right back just in case I need it. That's amazing. Also, I can have a starting soon screen for when I'm still spamming my links all over Discord and stuff like that. So, yeah, I do appreciate that. I don't exactly remember. Also, I have a starting screen now. I've been making these images for 3 days, and I didn't know what to do with it. So it's now just like my starting overlay screen for streams and stuff like that. Might make it into the end screen for videos as well, eventually. I don't think it really fit though, because it would have to be blurred, at which point all of my hard work's been done for nothing. Okay, let's focus here for a moment. Everything is reversed. This is not Pokemon through the years, this is the Reverse-locke. Okay. So what do we do against a Scraggy? I guess we should really go back and heal up, just because of Power Up Punch pay. Research ready, some really nice items here. So, what are those items? That is resistant. That is some scary shit. Why did I not Mega Evolve? Let's just Bone Rush and murder this Scraggy. I am not taking any chances here. What kind of items can we find here? I don't exactly know how far we'll be going today. We'll at least be going all the way to the next gym. Potentially one gym more apparently, but I don't know. The Zap Blade, Flame Charge, and Cheap Fresh Water. I don't care much about Cheap Fresh Water. I don't particularly care a lot about... Well, Flame Charge actually isn't a bad idea to have. So maybe we should take that into consideration. What do we do against Toxic Croak? Or Krogunk, what did it say? I don't even know. Let's just go into Nidoking. If my voice sounds fucked up, that is because I did a showdown video today and 3 episodes of Mario. But, okay, so it's just a Krogunk. But since I had a lot of time today to fill with other shit, I figured let's do all of that and throw in an extra stream. Poison Sting should be super effective now, right? It's still fairly pathetic. But so should that. Okay. Let's not do that anymore. That was bad. Holy fuck. Yeah, we do need to go back to the Pokemon Center. That was... Nothing died yet, okay? Keyword being yet, but nothing's died yet. And I'm using Bite against a fighting type, so I do know what I'm doing. Kind of. I've gotten used to this. I'm thinking that maybe it'll be interesting to see if we potentially could do this after through the years for a proper Let's Play, maybe. If there's not another interesting, fun challenge that we can come up with, that is. And Yagdig is evolving. That being said, when we're done with this, I might just be done with this kind of challenge to begin with. But through the years is not ending anytime soon, because we're entering the later stages of Gen 4 now, which means that we'll still have to go through Gen 5, 6, and 7 after that. So we're about halfway through, that's what I'm saying. Yagdig's now a Pidgeot, so it's a I can't say the name anymore. Anyway, so yeah, let's get it back to the Pokemon Center before we die. Through the years will never end. I mean, either I win, or everything dies. At this point, I consider the likelihood of me winning it a little bit higher than me having every single Pokemon I own die. But never say never. Never say never. When you get close to the end, a new game gets introduced. Yeah, the thing is, I'm probably, as it is, just not going to go for Gen 8 anyway. Unless something like massively changes within the next couple of months and I am able to do Gen 8, but I probably won't be able to do Gen 8. Because as far as I know, Switch emulation still isn't like a thing, really. And I don't own a Switch to like legitimately. Let's do Pokemon on the bottom screen. Why not? I don't own a Switch to legitimately play it on. So yeah, that's going to be an issue. Whatever Gen 9 becomes, also Gen 9 will not be released before I end off through the years because we're like 85 episodes in now, roughly, I think. Which means I will probably have about 150 episodes in total. So that's 50 more. Oh, wait a second. That's another year. It might actually. Gen 9 might be a thing. I don't know. I think Gen 9 won't be next year. It could be. I don't think it will be. So I'll probably finish Pokemon through the years, even if I include Gen 8. Before Gen 9 is released. And I'm probably not including Gen 8. If I could, I would probably, but I probably just can't. Well, the thing is, I need to have it on the emulator because I need to transfer all the Pokemon I already have in a emulator, like save file, to the new one. And I also need to randomize the game. So it needs to be based on a ROM and not an actual cartridge, sadly. Also, I can't record the entire fucking thing in like a sleepover. That'd be insane. I usually record 2 or 3 episodes at a time. Aside from the fact that it'd be like 14 hours of recording with grinding. Like, if I were to... Okay, this is actually an interesting thing to think about. It's another fucking Krogunk. It's an interesting thing to think about, right? Because if I were to, like, just sit down for a generation and play the entire generation in one sitting, recording sessions, grinding everything, how long would it take? I'm saying it probably would take, all in all, about 20 hours. It can't... It can't be done in a night. I need to do the actual recording, aside from like it killing my voice. I need to do the actual recording and just like the gameplay itself, but I also do need to do the grinding. It cannot be done in a night. it can be done over a weekend if I again do not like give a shit about my voice just being useless for the weeks after or the week after. After just recording for like 2 hours today, you can hear my voice now is a little iffy. And by the end of the stream, it's probably going to be real bad. It's probably also just going to be a little bit more of a low energy stream as a result of that. At least as far as like voices go. So doing that in a night doesn't seem realistic, but I don't know, who knows, maybe in the next like 3 or 4 months I'll get the possibility to get a Switch, maybe, and do it on. Because I think you can emulate, don't use Power Up Punch. I think you can emulate Switches if you have a physical Switch as well. I don't exactly know how it works, but that's what I understand from talking to people online. So even if Pokemon Sword and Shield emulators are stable enough, which I think I've seen people do Pokemon Sword and Shield randomizer, so it is possible, but I think you need to have a Switch still to do that. Which Usually, I would be 100% in favor of because anti-piracy. In my very specific case right now, it's a little annoying. Also, why did I not use buy? Well, I poisoned the dude, which is a start. Considering your recording of a game, Gen 1, 2, and maybe 5 without both games can be recorded within a day. Still, that does not count grinding. If you count grinding in that, you probably could do Gen 1 and 2, at least 1 and 2. Probably like a fair amount of generations you could do in a day. Like if you give me a like 14-hour day, something like that, you could do it with like a little low on the grinding. Also depending on how things get randomized, obviously. That's the entire point of a randomizer. But most games I don't think I could do in a day if we're doing like randomizer nuzlocke. And again, that is even ignoring like the absurd amount of talking you have to do to record such a thing in an entire day. Concerning the recording of yeah, I do not do the details. Yes, it can work. I don't know the details for sure either. I mean, it doesn't really do anything for me to look into it right now because, if anything, I'll start looking into the possibilities when I start Gen 7 to see if Gen 8 at that point is a viable option for me. Let's go into Orphan, why not? But I don't think it will be. We'll be happy. How happy would people be if randomized option were available in the game? Dude! Please, Game Freak. Just like somewhere in the options menu. I don't know. Maybe while creating a new save file or whatever. First and foremost, allow more than one save file would be amazing. Secondly, hard mode is nuzlocks. Just make a nuzlocke mode in your goddamn games. That is the first thing. The first thing I want is a nuzlocke mode in the actual games. Then there's also the thing of randomizer. And like not the entire reason, but like I don't want to say 90% because that's a little bit high, but at least like 50-50. The reason Pokemon is still as popular as it is so consistently on YouTube is because people can randomize the games, and that gives it so much more replayability than it already does being a Pokemon game. So just those two things, introduce those in your main games so that people don't have to frickin' patch it in. I mean, a lot of fan games just like give you the nuzlocke option, very much like to also have the randomizer option and the nuzlocke option in the main games. I'm never going to do it because that would be something good. And I don't know if you've noticed, but Game Freak doesn't like doing good things, apparently. Let's heal up a little bit. Grinding not included, but there's exist rare candies. Yeah, but I don't really do that with rare candies. I probably should more often, but... And I know especially beyond a certain point, it doesn't matter. But if you manually grind, you do get some EVs. You don't get them, like, well spread, but you get them. Which means that overall your Pokemon is going to have slightly higher stats. Which might just, like, make your Nidoqueen live from a revenge, for instance. So, I do think there's a certain amount of value in manually grinding. Again, certain Pokemon like Galat in the Pokemon Through the Years right now, it's been on the team so long it's maxed out in EVs. I might as well rare candy it up. That is entirely true. Multiple accounts, multiple saves, not the same thing. Yeah, but you say we have to think in workarounds in order to... Does this resist it? Huh. I thought that would be super effective because of the flying type. If we have to think about that kind of workaround to... This will be super effective though. To get multiple save files. That kind of shows you how bad the problem is, isn't it? There's some value to manual grinding, however, you max out EVs within 200 fights. Yeah, but generally speaking, I don't think I make it 200 fights in a single grinding session, per Pokemon, that is. After 2 or 3 grinding sessions, definitely, but usually I probably, like, a grinding session, especially after getting the Versus Seeker, is like under 100 Pokemon, usually. So, after about 2 grinding sessions, yeah, EVs get maxed out. And at which point you might as well reckon need them up. Oh, wait a second. That is also not even considering the fights you do in the episodes themselves, which obviously also give EVs. So yeah, probably after 1 entire grinding session, you're maxed out about your EVs. Suggestion, my XY generation section, grinded a lot manually, got a lot of money, which was nice. Well, wait, what? You got money from grinding? I mean, with the Versus Seeker. Probably Versus Seeker, yeah. I literally just mentioned that. Literally just mentioned that. God, I love Mega Lucario. It's such a good Pokemon. You can count Mega Lucario being on the intro screen soon, probably. If it survives this episode, it's definitely getting added. That's all I'm saying. It's definitely getting added if it survives this episode. Battle Villa, Deka route, Baron fights, 50k money per fight. Yeah, that makes you a lot of money. More money than you realistically need in a playthrough. Unless you're like endgame stuff, at which point you especially don't need it because you already have everything. I guess if you're Pokedex filling, I was really afraid that my emulator crashed there. Oh god, you have a Lipo. That's actually the first thing that I can't touch with my Lucario. I probably should just not be using Lucario for every fight because it's only level 40. Let's go into Nidoking. But I have an obsession with to re-customize my character between sessions. Yeah, okay, that gets very expensive. That does get very expensive very quickly. If you want to re-customize your character every single recording you do. Can easily like spend 100k a recording session in that case. Which is a little bit too much. Okay, Oracle is now officially level 40. I think it's about time to put him in the back. What is the level for the upcoming gym, actually? Pokemon X, Y gyms. Let's see. Swallow. Sorry, we have to go back into Oracle. Claymon is up to level 37, so that's... We're already way over leveled. I guess at least somebody liked the customization in newer generations. I don't think I've ever really done anything with it. Other than like just looking at it and testing out like, oh, this could be fun. And then never returning back to it. I don't think I've ever even bought anything customizable in Sun and Moon. Like, at all. Firefang! Finally we got a halfway decent move on you. Amorga 35 Magneton. Magneton? It is Magneton! For some reason, I only saw the Amorg and the Heliolisk. There's also a Magneton. I saw there was 3 Pokemon. I saw what 2 of the 3 were. I didn't see what the Magneton was. For some reason, Magneton really surprised me in that lineup. Anyway, so for the upcoming gym, everybody under level 30. Let's lead with Rodner. Because everybody else is such a high level as it is anyway. It does give you reasons to do all of the fights, other than just like getting experience. If you need a lot of money. Then again, if you end up grinding at a place that gives you 50k a fight anyway, it's more about burning money than making money, I'd argue. Finally, Houndoom is getting a little bit of experience. I've never really had a useful Houndoom. Is Mega Houndoom any better? This might be a mistake, by the way, staying in with Rodnu against Liepard, but sometimes you gotta take a bit of a risk. That's just how it would be. And Scraggy, we can say, and everything just dies to darkness, which is amazing. Going back to randomizers, currently recording a Wind Waker randomizer. It sucks. Torment. We can beat up. Don't worry, we can beat up. Yeah, I believe that sucks. Mega Houndoom is alright, still frail, but power is somewhat better due to solar power. I guess we just defeated like an entire team with this Houndoom though, so it's not that bad. But it's not like Houndoom is very hard hitting as it is, right? What tier is Houndoom in Smogon? Like, it's got to be something like RU, right? It can't be much higher than RU. I'm talking about normal Houndoom, not Mega Houndoom. Are those actually separately ranked? I think they are. I've forgotten. But I think having a normal... Huh. No, I'm not sure. Anyway, talking about Houndoom. Here we go. Houndoom versus Houndoom. This should be fun. Pretty much as long as I don't get crits and I'm a higher level, which I will not be. Holy hell, why are you a higher level than the upcoming gym? You're not. Never mind. I'm just stupid. Let's see what Nidoking has. It's got a Lucky Egg, which I probably should be giving to Rodner. I guess we can just bite with Nidoking. Mega Houndoom is UU, and Houndoom is RU. Oh, I'm good. I'm great. Wind Waker sucks most because of my progression items were sunken treasures, which I could not get. Oh, that is awful. Nidoking? Good Nidoking. That is pathetic. That is really, really pathetic. This might be trouble. Granted, it's only one Pokemon, so if we take out the Houndoom, we win. But still. I think this is still the best option we have, other than going into one of our overpowered Pokemon, but I'd really rather not do that right now. Can we live another one, is the question. We probably can. But I'm not taking that risk. Should I? I kind of feel pressured into taking the risk. I'm not. Obviously, as you can see, I'm not. But I think I could have taken it. Okay, I had 46 HP. Now he uses Beat Up. How much damage? He's only got one Pokemon. That is... wow. We went the boring way with spamming some potions, but at least Nidoking is now getting 2,000 experience! And the rest of the team is also getting a nice bit of chat. Oh, Body Slam! Which is just like better than Chip Away, right? I'm just gonna go for Body Slam. Chip Away is such a niche use case anyway. Especially since AI, which doesn't set up at all. Usually. I didn't risk it. I was a smart boy. Today I was. I won't always be. I haven't always been. But today, at that very move, I did the small thing and didn't risk it. Even though I could have ended that fight a turn earlier because he was using Beat Up with only one Pokemon on his team. Like an idiot. Something I could have done, honestly. Okay, and then you have a Mighty Yana, which is way less of a problem than Houndoom. And I'll show you by killing it with a How. You're level 38. Yeah, not doing that. Nah, very sorry. Orfru, your turn. We're not doing that. That's a level 38 Mighty Yana. I know it's just a Mighty Yana, but it's also level 38. So let's see. We can just bite. Right, we can do that. That's the thing we can do. See, he took that fairly well, but he flinched. So we'll be fine. And a critical hit. That's just how good I am. I crit when it matters. I also crit a lot when it doesn't matter. And I get crits a lot when it doesn't matter, actually. I don't get crit into death a lot. I don't need charm. Nobody needs charm. Do you know what sucks about working in IT? About 2 fucking billion other people wanting your job. Because I feel like that would also be an issue in IT. I'm working from 7 o'clock till now. Dude, that is like almost 14 hours. Can't say that I have never done that. I've had some long ass days as well. I've had some like 12 to 14 hour days as well. Either during editing or like during shooting, which is, also, aside from like being mentally draining, also sometimes physically draining. It sucks sometimes when you have to work for such an extended period of time. But I'm sure there's also positive parts to working in IT, right? It must be very fulfilling to work with people who don't know what the fuck they're talking about. I don't know what your actual job is. I just assume that every IT guy ever works with idiots, because that is what I've been led to believe IT work is, just like fixing problems for idiots. I only get paid for 8. Well, you know what we call that? We call that slavery. Am I safe to talk to these people? Flame charge! Thank you very much. I needed that. Did I really? Maybe a little. And a magnet. But yeah, no, working over a lot and getting underpaid for it is shitty as fuck. Oh, that is actually not bad. You're right. It just takes fucking forever to get multiple of them. And I can't be bothered, so let's not. Currently working as a data analysis platform administrator and pipeline. Okay, so those were just a lot of words. Sounds to me like you don't work with a lot of stupid people, though. Sounds like you just work with a lot of numbers, which, honestly, I prefer numbers over people if I had to choose. I'd way rather work with a stack of numbers than a team of people. Leak translation, implementing new versions, and making sure that everyone can use the program. So, When people can't use the program, they come to you? Because... And I'm not saying you should do this, but if that were me and people were... I was gonna be like complaint central for people who don't know, probably because of their own faults, 99 out of 100 times. I'd probably just tell them to go fuck themselves. I'm not good with dealing with people. At least not with stupid people, right? This is why I could never be a teacher. I've talked about this with my friends a lot. I feel like I could be a decent teacher for like intermediate to advanced level stuff. If people have a basic understanding of whatever it is I'm teaching, and I am building on that basic understanding into something more intermediate to advanced, I could probably do that. I could never explain something that's like basic to somebody. Not because I couldn't do it. I like literally, if I had to, I probably could, if it were like in my expertise. It would just be so frustrating to teach people who have like no basic knowledge of whatever subject I'd be teaching. I could never do that. And in the same vein, I couldn't fucking work in retail. If I worked in retail, people would be dying, and I would be fired and locked up in jail for pretty good reasons, honestly, if I would be killing people. Your background is data scientist, which is the least sociable job on the planet. Exactly what I need to have with my life. I mean, not being like... Getting frustrated when communicating with people who don't know what the hell they're talking about. Maybe like having client contact because of starting your own business isn't the best idea then, eh? Yeah, probably made a little bit of a mistake there, but... there's one thing I hate more than people who don't know what they're talking about. And that is people who don't know what they're talking about who have authority over you. I don't mind being like in a hierarchy, like for a business or anything, as long as I can say and appreciate that the people above me know what they're talking about more than I do. Issue is, in a lot of corporate environments, that's not always necessarily the case. And that is just like how the corporate ladder works. You don't necessarily need to be the best at something. You just need, like, you need to play the corporate game the best to climb it, right? Rather than being the best at the thing the company does. So you get a lot of situations where you, as a quote-unquote worker, have a manager who shits more shitty at what you do than you, and then tells you how to do it. I cannot fucking deal with that. I've had this happen before, if it wasn't obvious. Anyway, so funny thing about IT, creating a program that runs for 2 hours, you can just watch a movie and anime as the script is doing my work. Okay, there's a lot of automation going on there, and if you get paid for the work that you can automate, that is like big brain moves, please keep doing that, because that is amazing. Also, watch some of my stuff in that time, because watch time and like you watch an ad or two. Of course, like, I kind of mean that, but I also don't mean it. It's not like I don't want you to watch my content, but it sounds really douchey to say. You know what I mean, though. Working in a bank, hierarchical? I don't know if that's a word. How much hierarchy do you want? Exactly. Oh, I didn't read... I should read the question. That's Pikachu. That's... I mean, all of them are Pikachu. That's fair. All of them are Pikachu. Best way to get managers' good side is create documents. The thing is, I don't want to create them, to create the manager's good side. That's weird. I don't want to get on the manager's good side. I want to be the manager. Which is kind of like the issue, because I'd probably like have the people I work with or that like work beneath me have the exact same issue with me that I have with a lot of managers in general. But let's just use Yak Tip. How do you think? Fair enough. Fair enough. To be fair, like a decent portion of my daily work day doesn't require me to work with audio. So when I'm just working on visual edits, I can just watch YouTube as well. And it's amazing because I can just like put on a video or a podcast in the background and just go to work. I honestly really, really like that. I don't know. I like the process of like actually like doing an edit. Usually more than only like doing quick little visual edits like text replacement and that kind of stuff. There's no reason for me to have tackle and quick attack both, other than tackle being a little bit more powerful. But just the idea of being able to also like put on a YouTube video while doing that work kind of like pushes me more in that direction, preferring to do that. Worked my current job for 6 months already. Have some manager tasks for me. I'm just doing that good. That is another thing that I probably why I wouldn't work that well in a corporate environment. Which honestly, I mean, if at the end of the day, if you have to, you'll always make it work. Like 99% of people, at the end of the day, if you put in a situation where you have to do something, you'll probably end up doing at least fine. But okay, that's a fletchling. I'm so glad that it didn't give me the fletchling, a fletch find. I never know which one is which. Obviously, I know who Talonflame is because Gale Wings. So yeah, I tend to do. Okay, this is gonna sound really lazy and douchey, and to a certain extent it is, but it's also like how capitalism works. So I usually tend to do the minimum amount of work needed to get the reward that is like offered, right? If there's a salary, I'll usually not go beyond above and beyond to do something. To do something better than needs to be just because of the project. It's just like, I'm just getting paid for like X hours a week. I'm just gonna like do that, and then any more than that isn't really my problem. And I mean, I've also worked on projects for when I like worked at places where I did put in like a lot of hours and my heart and soul into this project because I really wanted it to look great. And honestly, one of those projects I made, I spent a lot of hours, like insane amount of hours over like a month and a half into. And it ended up looking really, really good. I had to do some visual effects for some videos. And at the end of the day, I just like from like a video editor, I kind of like turned into a visual effects supervisor for a month and a half, 2 months there, and it was really, really fun. So sometimes I do it, but usually I end up just like I don't know which one that is. I think that's Panpour. I think it's Panpour. Only reason I know that is because Panpour, pouring water. That's the way I remember it. But when I work for myself, right, I'm self-employed and I work with clients rather than for a boss. There's a one-to-one correspondence between me doing more work and me getting more money. If I do less work, I get less money. If I do more work, I get more money. Rather than there being some vague promise of maybe sometime getting a raise or a promotion, because that usually doesn't really work on me unless, again, it's a fun project and I can like put it in my portfolio and like have something useful from it later when I can show it to other people. But that, again, is a somewhat direct benefit for me. I don't really work that well, and this is not saying that I'm like a special little snowflake or anything. I think a lot of people, as a matter of fact, I think most people probably work like this. But I prefer an immediate reward over a vague promise in the future that might not actually come to pass. Which, fuck, I missed. Which is my basic, like, view on that. And again, not saying that's special in any, like, way at all. Probably shouldn't have used fly there. Because that is just basically, I'm just basically describing capitalism there. That's what that is. Yeah, exactly. Minimal effort, maximum payout. That's just optimal work. If you can do minimal effort and maximum payout, that is optimal, right? And there is some diminishing returns there, for sure. But still. I mean, honestly, no, there's diminishing returns. I mean to use another hype potion. There's diminishing returns the other way around. You get minimal effort and then a certain payout, but then if you do twice the amount of work, right now, being self-employed, which comes with a lot of risk for not having a lot of income, which, believe me, I know. But if I do twice the amount of work, I'll probably have about twice the amount of money. If I'm employed at some, like, company, if I do 2 times the amount of work, I'll get the same money with, like, and if I keep that up for a long time, maybe I can get like a couple % raise. Yay! That's fucked. So yeah, I'm not a huge fan of like corporate environments, and as such, I'm a freelancer, which is probably the exact opposite of it, because I only need to listen to people if they're literally paying me for it. The key is to put in a lot of work at the right moments. That is true. That is very true. But that remains true at all times. I probably should have healed up. Oh, Butterfree. Pavilion? And nothing. Pavilion is number 2. But we have to heal up first. Super Potion, and I don't have... I mean, I had a full restore. We're gonna one Yak deck for the actual fight itself. But for now, let's go for Chester. And then I'll get back to chat, because we're having an interesting discussion here. But yeah, so that is always the case. I mean, you don't want to give 100% all the time, because you're going to get burned the fuck out. If you give 100% all the time. C-bomb. Yeah, agreed. Short-term benefits, then vague long-term promises. Got rejected at 4 internships due to not having space for me, while they did promise it to me. Yeah, I had an interesting internship experience as well, which is part of the reason that I graduated half a year later than the rest of my class. But we can get into that story another time, or maybe later today. Yeah, for me to be a freelance in my line of work would actually be good at my job, and at least 10 years of experience. To be fair, being a freelancer straight out of school for like my business, like just like audio, visual, whatever it's called, a video maker, right, isn't uncommon. It's fairly uncommon. It's fairly common compared to other industries. Still, straight out of school into freelancing usually isn't advised unless you like already were like freelancing big time and like, well, didn't need to rack up a student debt because you were already making a lot of money while in school, pretty much, right? And from what I've seen, a lot of people actually like just don't complete college because their business runs too well. And they're like, I don't need like to graduate in order to keep this up. And at this point, it's more bothersome than anything else. And I don't have a lot of that anyway, so there's nothing keeping me in school. I've seen a lot of people just like leave school for that exact reason. I did not do that way. I didn't do it a very small way, I'm going to be honest with you. So, yeah, there's going to be a very... Wait, what? Can I just go straight to floor 5, please? That would be very, very nice. No, I cannot. I have to go... Oh, okay, but I don't have to rebattle the trainers. That's nice. Your job is done. Mine is just getting started because I'm going to have to face a gym leader now. Which shouldn't be that big of a deal. Yeah, I don't have a lot of student debt compared to like some other people. I mean, nobody in this entire country has a lot of student debt compared to Americans. So I should be grateful for that, which to a certain extent I am. But I don't have to start paying my student debt back until next year. But I also have like some other debt that I still have to pay back before that, which I hope that I can pay all of that back before I have to start paying my student debt, because I prefer like not to have to pay every single thing at once, because that would be painful. Leaving school early is and not getting your degree only works 1/20th of the time. It really depends on a lot of things, like the kind of industry you're in and well, the situation you're in, obviously, because like I said, those people that I've seen leaving school, I've seen some people like leaving school without graduating, and that was almost really good. Let's just go into a yak dick and finish this. And some of them are like, yeah, you probably shouldn't quit school in year 2 out of 4. But I've seen some people that were like really successful during the latter parts of like of the school and stayed, because they're like, yeah, but I did rack up like quite a bit of student debt in the first half, which I prefer not to have to pay back all of it. So they finished. But at that point, I can definitely say, especially if there's like no system in place, like if you actually get a graduation, you like you only have to pay back X percentage, right? If there's no reward system in place like that, depending on your like field of work, if schooling is important, like I'd never like want a doctor that didn't graduate, right? I'd never want a doctor that like 1 year before graduating was like, yeah, no, I've seen it here. I'm just gonna stop because I've got this like side hustle and it's going fairly well for me, so I'm just gonna do that instead. Or a lawyer. Definitely, I wouldn't want a lawyer that hasn't been to law school or quit law school. But like, okay, let's keep it a little bit farther away from my own business being video creation. If like a music composer, right? If they make good music and they make money making that music, and they either never went to school for it or quit school before finishing, because their business is just well enough to the point where they can live from it without getting finishing school, why not? I do think, okay, this is gonna sound really like millennial Gen Z hybrid here. I do think school to a certain extent is overrated. I also think that is a thing people say way too quickly to excuse themselves from being lazy. Oh, school is overrated. No, you're just being a bit of a lazy ass. And that is okay. A lot of people, a lot of the time, are lazy. It's like, people tend to be lazy. A lot. That's okay. And you don't want to face like a challenge, because that's difficult. And apparently, like, you're a little millennial bitch and you can't deal with difficult things. That is okay. I don't judge you for it. I just called you a bitch, but I don't judge you for it any more than that. But don't say you're quitting school because it's overrated. I say that while also thinking that school is overrated. So I'm in a bit of a weird position in this argument. Anyway. This got very political very quickly. Student debt was closer to 10k, which is much lower than most of my peers. They had close to 30k. I'm about average. I'm at 15k. Creative content creators like composers, musicians, video creators, graphical designers can get by without a degree. Yeah, and I think I talked about this. I don't know if that episode's gone up yet. Has the Iron Island episode for Pokemon Through the Years gone up yet? Because I talked about this exact thing towards the end of that episode, where it's not actually necessary per se to get a degree in like creative fields. Or like go to school for them. But that doesn't mean it's useless. It doesn't mean that it doesn't help. Because you will learn a lot of things. Like on a technical level, but also on like an industry level. When going to school and like going through internships and all that kind of stuff. That will be a very valuable teaching experience. Which I think most people probably should have before going into the field. Yeah, okay, so that's already gone up. I don't know which episodes go up when, I just know that I record 3 a week and upload 3 a week. And I'm about a week ahead of what gets uploaded. Yeah, this is the wrong route. I mean, we could shift into Yu-Gi-Oh, but... I've been watching Duel Monsters, if that helps. Where do I go? Maybe just tell me where to go. I think I've already found it. Because I'm supposed to go to the east here, right? Maybe not. Oh, I need to go to Sycamore and Lysandre, which are where? I was just mashing through that dialogue. Cafe Red, Center of the Lumios. Isn't the Destiny not also somewhere in these alleys over here? I think they are. I remember that from when I actually did manual braiding. Such funny manual braiding. As if. Where is the cafe? I think I've spotted the cafe. It's really annoying that you can't control the camera. Where is it? Just go through the middle circle. Yeah, I've been going in circles a little bit, so I don't exactly know where I started and where I'm supposed to go now. But hey, this is the front, so let's just see if this gets me anywhere. It doesn't. I'll give Lumio City one thing. It is a fucking amazing place to like just run around and get lost. In which respect it? Did I see something? I saw something red over there. I think I found it. Like that, it actually is a lot like Paris. Have I ever actually been to Paris? I've been to a lot of big cities. Well, a lot of big cities. Been to a fair number of big cities, and I always end up getting lost. I'm assuming Paris is no different. Especially since it's such an old city as well. I didn't know the map in this game was so nice, and I stopped playing Pokemon after Gen 5. Well, this is definitely the highlight of Gen... Oh, I think this might be where we're supposed to go. This is definitely the highlight of Gen 6, Lumio City. Not gonna lie to you, the rest of the game is not as interesting as this. Also, hello, how are you doing? But yeah, no, I really do like the map for Lumio City. It feels very interesting and also just alive. It's not an empty map. Like, I also enjoy the map for Morville City in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, but that just feels really empty and... Oh, I think I found it. I've said that 3 times so far, but this one had a coffee cup at it. God damn it! Got invited to a conference in Paris, but Corona happened. That is... Can I be honest with you? Again, never been to Paris, so I don't know if what I'm saying here is true, but I'm gonna assume Paris actually not that great of a city. You know why I think that? Because no big city is actually fun. All big cities suck. That is a true belief I hold, and I will always hold for the rest of my life. I've never been to a big city and had fun. It's always miserable. Cannot give instructions on this, go through the plazas. Is this it? Is this the one I just was at? Damn it. I told you I'd get lost again. Maybe I shouldn't be roller skating everywhere. Okay, so I see something blue here. That's definitely not it. It's the Red Cafe. Anyway, Poofy Star. Poofy Pop Star. Yeah. How have you been? How are you today? Because we've got a lot of air to fill here. Because I don't know where I'm going. If this is it, I'm going to be mad. It's not. Okay. I'm still annoyed. I'm still annoyed. It's going to be a while. Eventually we're going to find it. It's in one of those alleys, isn't it? Because we had a blue one and a green one. It's got to be somewhere around here. I know Lucas lives somewhere around here, or has an office somewhere around here in the post-game. Which we will not be doing. This is a red obelisk. So, surely that means that the Red Cafe is somewhere around here as well. Right? Right? If you tell me this is the... Okay, that's the Sushi High Roller. That's not a Red Cafe. It's in the plaza. But aren't these... These are the plazas. And none of these have cafes. So... I am utterly confused. I'm just going to go in here. I think I've been in there 4 times so far. How could I get so lost? I feel like an idiot. Granted, I'm stuck on an NPC. What is this game? Yeah, the whole area does look the same pretty much everywhere. Okay, I'm just going to Magenta Plaza. That is a amazing start to know where to go. I was gonna say, I'm just gonna look up like a picture of where I'm supposed to go. This is the Vert Plaza. Which I assume... I probably am just at the wrong side of the city, right? I'm at the south part and I'm probably supposed to be at the north part. I'm guessing that's what's going on here. Also, can I please go quickly? Thank you. Or was I at the north part and am I supposed to go south? That doesn't make a lot of sense because this entire visit to Lumiose is like... The whole thing is that we can go north now. The thing is, if I want to post this on TikTok, I need to actually like... Okay, there's a Team Flare member here. I saw something red that really like made me happy for a moment. Wait a second, wait a sec... It's not in the alleys, he says. It kind of wasn't, you're right. I'm not locally recording this, so I have to download it from YouTube and then edit it down because that entire thing was over a minute, and TikTok is limited to just a minute. Dude, I talked about it in today's Mario recording, but the TikTok I posted today, which is not on this phone because it's my old phone, this is my new phone. I have a new phone as well, actually. The TikTok I posted today at 12 my time is now at 4,000 views, which is like kind of crazy to me. How long did it take me to find this? But yeah, I probably will download this VOD, and he gives you a King's Rock, huh? Interesting. And try to edit it down to a TikTok-capable video, because it does seem fun. Especially, I got stuck on a fucking NPC. What is this? Skyrim? If it was Skyrim, I wouldn't get stuck in an NPC. I would get stuck in a wall. Let's be fair. Skyrim is a lot worse than this. I probably should have realized I was supposed to go here because... Oh my god, it's also right next to the Pokemon Center I started. Oh my god! I probably should have realized because I was a Team Flare member here. That's what I was going to say. Now let's leave this cursed city because... Man, that took a while. I don't know if I have it in me to go all the way through to the next gym today after that. I think this leads to Route 5. Because it had a big ass 5 on top of it. Where am I, Olympios? Give me the map. Just give me the map. Yeah, that's the wrong part. And we need to return to that cafe in the future. Thing is, now I know where it is. I'll never forget where that cafe is again. If I ever have to, that's Route 4. If I ever have to replay X and Y, which I will because Pokemon through the years, I will immediately find that cafe. Because after that, there's no way I'm ever forgotten again. No way. You're not gonna... Oh, this is how you get back to Lumiose. At the end of the game. We need to get yet another route. I think. Right? What even is this building? Is this the train station? What is this? Oh, it's the museum. No. No? Who cares about art? Look, we've just been talking for an hour about how I graduated in, like, film studies. I'm allowed to say nobody cares about art. Because I have a useless art degree. I'm allowed to say it, okay? Okay. Hold on a moment. Would you consider YouTube videos to be art? Because I would consider some of my work to be. My YouTube videos, I would not consider to be a work of art. I'd sooner consider that to be like... just like word vomit. Honestly. I don't know, let's seed bomb and see what it does. At least I'm not... Yeah, okay. I'm not a graduate for social studies or gender. Is that a real thing? Like, can you go into a degree for gender studies? I mean, I don't want to be judgmental, but I will be. A little. Because I don't think that really needs a lot of... like... a study on its own. That probably should be included with psychology. just like as a part of a study, not as a study on its own, is all I'm saying. Like, I have opinions, which might offend people, and still though I have opinions, I do tend to respect people with different opinions, but I don't think gender studies should be a study in and of itself. Also, this is not going my way very well, is it? And some YouTube videos, like evolution of battle animation in Pokemon, I consider art. Yeah, true, but Let's Plays? Really? I don't think Let's Plays. I wouldn't consider that art in any form. Like, I don't think I've ever seen a Let's Play where I think, yeah, I would consider this a form of art. There's definitely a lot of content on YouTube which I would consider art. I mean, for fuck's sake, a lot of my short films are on YouTube. So, yeah, definitely there's content on YouTube which I would consider art. I think even there's a lot of content specifically made to be put up on YouTube, specifically made for the platform YouTube, which my films obviously weren't, which is considered art, like the video you just mentioned. I've also seen that. It's like the battle animations through the years of Pokemon and how they changed, right? That definitely I'd consider it a work of art. It's like deeply researched. It's like there's interesting arguments being made, and like it's just like educational or whatever. Definitely consider that a form of art. That being said, let's go into Nidoking. I don't think I've ever seen an artful Let's Play. Yeah, there's a liberal art, and it's kind of useless. Yeah. Well, the thing is, right, I'm not saying that like art for art's sake is useless, because I think it has a societal use, in that like people get talking about stuff, and in that way we learn to like empathize with all people and like have an open discussion about difficult topics. It's a really good conversation starter, so in that way it's useful. The only thing is that people who make art oftentimes are a little bit way up their own ass about it. Which then makes like, yeah, okay, it's got some use, but not as much as you're giving it credit for. And then you devalue it because you don't want to give them any credit for it, right? That is at least the reaction I have to that kind of behavior. Delphux, let's go into Chester. No, Chester. So, yeah. There is a master's degree in gender studies in Utrecht. Oh my god. Can we please just not do that? I mean, I don't know what the study itself actually like is about. I'd be very interested to learn more about it so that I can make fun of it. And probably again offend some people. But honestly, if it is what I think it is, and there's a study about that, and you can like pay tuition to go to class, have classes about gender and nothing else. If you pay for that, you deserve being made fun of, and I don't care if I offend you. Like, that is one of the few situations where I'm like, usually, when people take offense, I'm like, it's you taking offense, not me giving it. In that situation, it's definitely me giving offense. And I don't really care. Let's Plays of Journey / Shadow of the Colossus. The game itself is art. I wouldn't necessarily classify the Let's Play. That's like saying an art critique in and of itself is a form of art, which, if you want to make that argument, that's fine, because art is a very subjective term. And this makes me think about one of the very first, like within the first year of my my study, my philosophy teacher gave us an assignment, and that is write an essay about what is art. And it was a very interesting essay to write, and I think if I had to rewrite that essay now, which I won't, I'm kind of doing it now, verbally. It probably would be a very, very different essay with different answers. Because I was kind of up my own ass at that point as well. I think, like, if you make art, a lot of artists, and I do consider myself an artist to a certain degree, I think a lot of them, like, do need a humility check. I think that should be, like, in any art degree, there should always be a point where you're, like, just guaranteed to, like, faceplant and fail. Route 16, I can catch a Pokemon here. Wait a moment. We'll get right back into this topic when I get my encounter. A minor arts degree is fine. To be fair, my degree isn't... fucking Bellsprout. Let's see what this does. I mean, it's a very applicable field, right? I mean, video production. It can be a very artful thing, but generally speaking, it is also a very useful thing in, like, marketing and shit like that. So it can go, like, it's a really big spectrum you can use those skills and that thing in general for. You can make video art, you can make commercials, which are probably, like, the two things most opposite in the spectrum, in my opinion. I like wood carver artists, at least they make furniture. Honestly, wood carving is a lot of fun. I also like metalwork. I really like metalwork. Gender studies is about emphasizing and social identity constructs. You see, that sounds a little more reasonable than just gender studies. Because, okay, are we going to get into this? Are we going to get into this? We might get into this. I don't know if I want to get into this today, or maybe in the next stream. But, are we going to get into how many genders are there? Are we? Or are we not? Because I've got, like, opinions on this, which are very nuanced, actually. Because you might be surprised if you spend a lot of the time on the internet, but there's this thing called nuance, which means that you can, like, have an opinion that is not extremely one thing or the other, but still have a strong opinion. It's a really weird concept, but it is possible. And if this was a Dutch stream, I would make a political joke right now. About a certain party. Yeah, I probably know which one I'm talking about. I had gender studies in my sociology class. You see, that makes sense. If it's not a study in and of itself, but like a part of a bigger study about, like, sociology, psychology, that kind of thing, I think that makes a certain amount of sense. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't need Spiky Shield. I was just under the impression that you can go to a university, give them money for a degree that says gender studies, which that is where my issue lies mostly. Okay, items on this route are Will-O-Wisp, nice. Toxic, I am guessing, and one rare candy. I don't really need a rare candy. Will-O-Wisp and Toxic will be nice. Will not participate in that discussion for my option, probably opinion, just search Jordan Peterson. Never heard of it, but it's a risky topic to get into, and frankly, okay, I'll sum it up in like 2 sentences and then we can move on to something else. Let's not kill this final Bellsprout. I do think gender is, like, grossly mislabeled and, like, mistreated in this modern era. I think that's 2 genders. I just think that the gender roles that get applied to it for male and female, and like the limitations that bring socially speaking, are the issue. Not that there's more than 2 genders, just that you being a male or a female should be allowed to exist anywhere on masculine to feminine, rather than just because you're a man, you're more masculine. Most of the time, man will be more masculine. But the fact that we associate man with having to always be very masculine, and that is the issue. Not that there's, like, a lot of other genders in between or, like, aside from those 2. That is, in my opinion, just like a construct made to be able to function within the system that we use right now for masculinity and femininity. because breaking that entire system is even more difficult than anything else. That is, in very short, my opinion on the matter. I think I've said that in a very nuanced way. That, again, I am somebody on the internet talking on the YouTube live stream, and my only, like, that's way above my pay grade is what I'm trying to say, right? I have an opinion, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a well-informed opinion. Trolab. We're gonna call you Trolab. And that is something very important that I also really see like a lot of people struggling with in like debating and arguing, is that you can have an opinion and it doesn't always have to be a well-informed opinion, but I think it's very important to realize when your opinion isn't well-informed. And that is my opinion on this matter. But I also am very aware that it's not a very well-informed opinion necessarily. Whereas if I have an opinion on something that I am well-informed on, I'll also know. Because if you ask me, okay, there's going to be something really technical because I'm a technical person. I'm not a very like, I'm not a very sociable or like emotionally based person. I'm a very like rational technical person. So even within like my field of work, I do tend to lean a lot towards like technical things, even though it's a very artistic field I work in. There's also a lot of technical stuff in there, right? So I always like to keep up to date with like new camera specs that come out and whatever. Just a stupid example. Do I think 8K cameras are useful? No. I think they're a waste of goddamn hard drive space recording 8K video. If you want to put them up on like some big ass screen, you're not going to need that resolution because nobody is going to be that close to your screen to even need the 8K. If you want to record 8K because in the editing you want to be able to crop in and reframe your position, hire a better fucking cinematographer. Right? Because if you need to record in such a way that you can like pretty much like resize and reframe every shot in editing, you're pretty much just saying that your cameraman didn't do a good enough job. And that same processing power can be used for other things inside the camera. So please don't make 8K cameras. I know I probably lost like everybody watching this ranting about that, but that is something that I do have a certain amount of expertise in and know what I'm talking about. And I have an opinion about, and a strong opinion, and a fairly well-informed opinion. Just to contrast the two. That's my main reason to talk about that. Also, it does annoy me a lot that like people are like, oh, 8K is becoming standard. I'm like, no, probably isn't. And will we go 16K next? No, we will not, hopefully. But again, that is a very technical thing. That was 7 sentences. You know what I mean. Next week when I catch, I will name Puffy Popstar. Yeah, I will. I've been naming everything the names backwards, but I always why not, right? Just have a little bit of fun. I really don't like this cutscene being in here. It's Pokemon X and Y's attempt at like the creepypasta bait, but this is way too in your face. And they did a way better one as well with the Ghost Girl and Lumiose. No. Though I feel like this might also be a little bit of meta commentary on creepypastas because of the would you like to give him the tip? Weirdly enough, I did not lose you. Also, my friends are also in the AV business. However, he's a resolution addict. Yeah. Luckily, most people I know aren't. And the sad thing is, right, I'm gonna keep on this trail for a little bit longer, not too much, because it's probably very exclusionary. If you're looking at like high-end camera manufacturers, there's red cameras, which probably most people know at this point because YouTubers have started using it for some goddamn fucking reason. I would use one as well if I had the opportunity and the money to be honest, just because it's, for me, it's also just a fun toy. That being said, I'm not using face cam right now, right? The face cam I use in Pokemon through the years is a like €1,500 camera, because why the fuck wouldn't it be? So if I had a red camera, it'd just be the most expensive webcam in history. Do we need to do the Pokeball Factory, actually? Let's see if we can catch another Pokemon first. Oh, we can do the gym! But let's catch the Pokemon first if we have any more encounters, because otherwise I'll forget about Puffy Popstar. I don't think we have any more encounters, do we? Do we? We might not. Fish first. Can we fish anywhere? Oh, we can fish here probably, right? Can we? Good Rod. Register. I love the fact that starting this generation you can register more than one item. That's always annoyed me going back to earlier generations. Reeled in too slow, my ass! That's one of those things that you don't really realize you've been missing until you get it. Going back to earlier generations, it's a basculin. Unlike the physical special split, which actually, no, exactly like the physical special split, because that also has the exact same issue. Well, let's not stay in actually. Where you don't really realize what is the issue, just that there is an issue, and then when they introduce the fix, going back is really painful. I'm hoping Quick Attack will not kill the Basculin, but I am 15 levels higher, so it just might. It didn't, okay. I mean, they both do start with a P, other than Basculin being a, well, PB, peanut butter. Do you like peanut butter? I like peanut butter. That's a really interesting question, because when I ask that question, most people will have a different thing in mind than I do. Because American peanut butter is a lot different from Dutch peanut butter. And it's kind of gross. I don't like American peanut butter that much. Same thing with cheese, really. American cheese is really fucked. But question stays, do you like peanut butter? Because I do. You need like 5 liters of water with a single peanut butter sandwich. Could you just stay in the goddamn ball? Wait a second, don't I have a Dusk Ball? Or is that in Pokemon Platinum? I'm getting these runs mixed up, which is really annoying. I think I have a Dive Ball even, maybe. I'm assuming this works for fish-type Pokemon as well. It is a lot chunkier, but also it's a lot saltier. Also, I mean, you have smooth and chunky peanut butter. I prefer smooth. I don't really like very chunky peanut butter. But it's just like, it's a lot like, there's a lot more like taste to it. A lot less chemicals as well, I feel. Which is a really like, a really Karen thing to say. Because obviously everything has chemicals in it, because everything, at the end of the day, what we mean when we say chemicals is artificial chemicals. Puffy Pops. So, that just fits. Wow, that's amazing. Dude, I saw a TikTok today of an absolute Karen losing her fucking shit in like some boss. because people weren't like either standing up for her to give her a seat or getting out of the way to let her leave the bus, get out of the door. If it's the latter, she's kind of in her right to be angry, because if you're on a bus and people won't step aside to let you leave, that's a really douchey thing to do. If it's a woman that's like, it was probably in her early 50s, that's absolutely flipping the shit out because people aren't offering her a seat. I would have loved to be in that situation, because she's like, why is nobody being a gentleman? Why, I've never done anything to you. And I would have loved to be in that situation and just tapped her on the shoulder, have a look at me and say, it's because you're being a bitch. I wasn't there. I never really experienced a situation where somebody were being like that obnoxious in public. I really wish I had though. Also, this is literally just Sabrina's gym, I just realized. It's what Sabrina's gym should have been. It's Sabrina's gym combined with Sabrina's gym in the anime, is what this is. I like peanut butter, but it's true they aren't that good here in America. I mean, I haven't had American peanut butter from America, so it might even be different than American peanut butter you get here, which would complicate the entire thing even more. But I'm assuming our version of American peanut butter is pretty close to what actual American peanut butter is like. And as such, I'm going to assume that I wouldn't like it very much. If anything, talking about like the chemicals, making the frogs gay and all that kind of bullshit, there's probably even more in the American ones, because the American Food Administration is a little bit less strict on those kinds of things than the European Union. I'm going in circles, aren't I? I also thought that this was not the next gym yet, but again, I've not played this generation a lot. I'm about to look up a map for this place, because I am LOST. I'm so lost that I just like turned into a 16-year-old white girl. Spelling out the words because it has more emphasis on it. Because I'm trendy like that. I feel like I'm close. I feel like I'm almost there. Also, I just looked up what the levels are, and apparently I decided up to level 42. I can probably take that because it's just a Sylvian. That being said, I have no idea. Fuck. I have no idea about Ferris resistances. It came in at a time where I didn't play Pokemon as much anymore. I still played a lot of Pokemon in Gen 6. But not as much as I did in like Gen 3, 4 and 5. So I never really got as used to Fairy as... it had to happen eventually. As the other typings. So I don't really know the resistances of Fairy. Go back to the entrance, I'll help. I need help. I need help really badly. Let's see. Does Bug do super effective stuff against... Probably not. It might actually be. Yeah, it is super effective. Okay, that is good to know. Bog is super effective. Usually resisted. In this case, super effective against Fairy. Okay, look. What I'm about to say isn't serious. But it is food for thought, right? Attract only works on Pokemon of the opposite gender. I think that's everything I have to say, and I think you can like fill out the rest of my like joke argument after that. But in case you couldn't, does that make Pokemon homophobic? I know that if Attract works on everything, it kind of like loses the gimmick of the move, and probably becomes a little bit too overpowered as well. So it's definitely, you can't change it for gameplay reasons. But I wonder if people have complained about that before. They probably have. Okay, as soon as I manage to accidentally get back, I will do that order of events. Any day now. Any day. Maybe now? We're gonna take this one. I feel like this is probably the last room. It's the thing. Okay. Take the left portal, then the bottom right, then the upper right. Is it literally just that? Then the bottom right. Then the upper left. I came out of the upper left. After that specific trainer. Oh. Shit. Give it from the start. I tried to make my way back to the start. I'm such an idiot. Look, this is where in a Let's Play we just could have had. Because. Do I even need to say it? I'm at least at the upper floor. That must be a good start. Unlikely. I'm going to assume that I have to make it past this trainer. Because that's how game design works. Oh, we made it. Oh, I think we made it. I think we made it. Without your help. I can do things on my own. When I'm lucky. I made it. I frickin' made it. Now the question is my delay short enough? Okay, good. My delay is short enough to make sure that that is clear for everybody to see. Okay, so now who's the best Pokemon to take on this gym with? Chester has a bug type move which is super effective. Maybe. Ah, no, you're way too low a level. Also, Nidoking, you don't really need that item anymore. Let's give that to Ratno. Through trial and error, it's a way. It is a way. Let's go with Orthro. Because, as we've been saying throughout this entire thing, normal type is a neutral type against pretty much everything. And as I don't know really how Fairy will interact with anything, I think it's a wise idea to just keep it neutral. And we start against a steel type, in which case we'll even be super effective. So that was a great start, because we can retaliate. And have Corona apparently. Ah, you lived. You bitch. Well, there is some delay in YouTube, but there's also like a second and a half of delay in OBS, because today I finally got my cable for my face cam again, so I don't have to manually sync it up afterwards. Yeah, I think you use a hyper version. But that has a 1435 millisecond delay because I'm using my Elgato for it. Which apparently that's just set to 1435 milliseconds delay, if you ever need to know that. I figured that out through trial and error, much like this gym. But then, in order to get everything in sync, and you've seen this go wrong a couple of times in videos before, I need to also delay my audio, the game audio, but also the game video, everything by the same amount of delay. And since I'm now using the same... let's go into Chestnut. Using the same software to record and stream, because I reinstalled my PC. I was like, why would I reinstall normal OBS if I have Streamlabs anyway? You have a little bit more like fine control of like things like bitrate and stuff, but who gives a shit? I'm starting to cough a little bit. So, while streaming, I also have a second and a half, roughly, delay added on top of the delay you usually have for it to get to YouTube and then to the viewer anyway. It's just gonna have to be that way. Still, it's probably like the delay, it's workable. Even with like my manually added 1.5 of delay, it's still workable. It's like only 4 or so seconds, I'm guessing, in total. Hello, Dead Scale, how are you doing? I've seen you before. I mean, welcome. We're either getting our asses handed to us or we're defeating this gym today. Which is also one of the last things that we're going to do today, which sucks a little bit. As far as timing goes. Of course you have high passion. This is why I didn't want to use pin missile, because it's a weak ass move. Even though it's super effective. I know he's also got a reflect up, so when the reflect fades away, it'll do a lot more damage. Or I could get a critical hit, which literally does like 1/3 of his HP. I like that. Keep doing that. I'm going to have to use a hyper potion myself next turn. Get another critical hit, dude. No. That's wrong. No. That's not what I wanted. I didn't want you to hit 2 times again. Unless the second time was a critical hit. Or the first time, for that matter. I did that. No. Oh man, my throat is fucking killing me. I've been talking for like 4 hours today. I'm not just talking, I've been commentary talking for 4 hours, which is a lot more strenuous on the voice. It's very interesting. Very interesting indeed. That when I'm just like talking with like friends, I'm just like hanging out, I talk differently than on camera. The way I talk on camera is like, it strains my voice a little bit more. I probably should be doing it the other way around, because I talk way more on camera than I do in real life these days. I don't think it's actually like damaging for my voice, because at this point I probably would have had some major damage to my voice. If the way I talked on camera was damaging. Though maybe I've got damage to my voice and I just don't know it. And honestly, I don't really care too much. As long as it doesn't hurt. That's a really ignorant and stupid way to think about it, I am aware. We're gonna have to pin missile you and just like get 3 critical hits. Because you're fairly bulky. You're not very bulky, never mind. You're gonna absolutely get annihilated by this. 2 times hit! Why? Well yeah, I talk a lot faster on camera as well. I put a lot more energy into like my talking. I think I also talk a little bit louder on camera, generally speaking, I'd say. All those things together make it a more strenuous thing to do, talking on camera rather than off camera. So, talking about being off camera, I think this might do it for us today. I don't know. We could do the Pokeball Factory. Let's do the Pokeball Factory first. Okay, let's do the Pokeball Factory and then end it off for today. We've got 20 minutes to do it before today's... What video will go up today, actually? I don't remember. What day is it? It's Wednesday? Should be a Pokemon video, I think? Let me check. Let me check. What video is going up today? Mario has 5 views now. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Let's see. Today we will have episode 83 of Pokemon Through the Years. Something about a mistake and a Mantine. I don't exactly remember the details. Though I guess I'll remember it tomorrow because... Oh, I remember now. I remember now. Yeah, no, I definitely do remember. It'll be fun. It'll probably be very frustrating for you to watch it, but it'll also be fun because suffering. I'm not saying things will die. I'm also not saying things will not die. Necessarily. I've had no deaths this entire stream so far, right? Wow. Yeah, I think I'm going to do the Pokeball Factory just because I don't want to start with that next time. And then it won't be a long process anyway. And then next time we can start off with something else, because we're having fun here. We're having fun. So it's been a blast having you. It's been a blast having you help me, because God knows I need it. But this is also where I get the Master Ball, isn't it? So will we... That's a very good question. Will we use that Master Ball on the legendary Pokemon when we face it? Because I'm thinking we might. Wait, can I not go inside yet? Do I have to do something else first? Or do I just have to take a different entrance? That I do not know. I've been thinking about at least trying that in Minecraft stream, because as I stated in the last episode of the Minecraft Let's Play, episode 17, is that I still have that world, and I like that world, and there's a lot of things to do in that world. Like doing the Ocean Monument very close to our base, making a better villager trading station, though we probably don't necessarily need that at this point. And just building a lot more, like, mob traps and all that kind of stuff. And I think that'll be fun to do on stream. It won't be, it won't even need to be as high energy as this will be. It probably will be a lot more chill, just like building something, just hanging out a little bit. Would also be a opportunity maybe to, like, that works, to have some, like, co-hosted streams as well in Minecraft, because I don't think it would really fit in Pokemon. While I was playing Pokemon, somebody else co-hosting the stream, but I think it would work a lot better if I'm playing Minecraft and there's just somebody on Discord with me, for instance. So maybe next week I will try that. This Saturday I'll definitely still be streaming the Pokemon X Reverse-locke, but we're slowly but surely getting pretty far into the game, so we don't really need as much progress anymore to almost finish this game. So maybe there will be some room for the bonus streams to be something other than Pokemon, and definitely for me at the moment, Minecraft is at the top of that priority list, I'd say, because I like playing Minecraft. And I did say that I wanted to give it a try, and also I just want to see how it goes. I mean, if it ends up being an absolute flop, at least I tried, right? It's not like that that'll hurt at all in the long run. If anything, it depends on my schedule. It really heavily depends on my schedule for work, which changes from like week to week, so I can't always stream on the same days. If anything, most likely days for me to do a extra stream are usually on Monday and Wednesday. Is that worth it? That's 60 over 60, but I like the flinch chance more than the guaranteed hit. I think it would go... Oh, no. Fuck! Wasn't paying attention. I think it would be very fun as well. So, probably if I have some time next week, that... What? Oh, okay. I understand what we're supposed to do now. If I have some time next week to do an extra bonus stream, which, again, probably I will, I'll probably do a Minecraft stream where we... I don't know what we'll be doing, honestly. We'll probably do that villager zombie trading thing I've been talking about in the final episode of the actual Let's Play series, is my guess. But that does require us to like remodel, because I've been like trying a little bit and look in test worlds and looking online at what other people have done for villager converting stations, and it would require us to change up the layout of how we have things right now, which would be a little tedious to do for something that I don't particularly need that badly either, because I think everything I have at this point has mending. So the only thing we'd be doing it for is to make that emerald beacon. And honestly, probably an emerald beacon is still the easiest beacon to get. Because if you want to have a uniform one, obviously, because we're not going to have a diamond beacon. Definitely not going to have a netherite beacon. That'd be insane. Let's go into Chester. And then you have got gold, which is a little bit more viable, but not very much. And iron, obviously, which is the most likely. Also, I think, generally speaking, depending on your building style, I thought you had a... This will do as well. The most aesthetically pleasing to have iron blocks. Emerald blocks are probably the next best thing. They're probably even easier to get. And for that, yeah, you probably could use a little bit of converting because of the trading thing. So we'll probably end up doing the villager conversion stations. But who knows, we might just end up doing the Ocean Monument instead if I feel more like that. Let's see, how do we get down there is the question. I got a timeable. I am utterly confused. I don't think I can even get out of this place. So, where am I supposed to go? Is there any place I can go down? There is. Oh, and then it reverses direction on the conveyor. That is... And then I can go back. That makes a lot of sense suddenly. That did not reverse direction, my friend. That still spits me out here. But wait, can I just... No, I cannot. But then what? My beacon is massive emerald, gold, and leftover iron. It looks ugly, but it works. That is the thing, right? You can also just mix different metals. And that is totally fine as well. Does it stay reversed? Oh, hold on. I think this is just the way. This is just the way up. Okay, never mind. Yeah, you can also just like it looks messy, but you can definitely make a beacon out of different metals. I wish you could make a beacon out of lapis. I know that would be way too easy because fortune lapis is insane. At that point, you might as well just. Well, redstone is a little bit more common. I was gonna say at that point you might as well just make a redstone beacon, but honestly, why not? Because it would be too easy, I guess. But it's not like an emerald beacon is necessarily very difficult to get your hands on. You just need to have a couple of villages, which, granted, if you don't run into any villages, is annoying. But if you have villages, okay, so if you have villages, you can actually get a good beacon, a uniform beacon in two ways, because you can make a trading station which has infinite emerald trades with like a librarian, which bookcases for books, and make an infinite circle out of that where you just keep generating emeralds. You can just have very good trades with villages for like pumpkins and melons are very easily automatable as well. So you can just trade those like a lot. Or you can make an iron farm with them, which makes it very easy to get an iron, passively even, an iron beacon, which honestly I might as well do, because I've got villages. Just need to make a villager braider at that point, because I need more villages than I have right now. But my trading station at this point also kind of functions as... I need to take on one more. Okay. As a braider. So I can just take a couple of villages out of there. But I need to place them like 100 and some blocks away for them not to count as the same village anymore. Which I could do. I could just like put them. I could put that on the island with the nether portal on it, which doesn't work. Yeah, that definitely would work. Anyway, so there's a lot of things that we could and probably will do in Minecraft. I'll at least give it 1 or 2 tries for streaming. But I wanted to stream Pokemon today to just like get a little bit of progress done in here this week, because we're doing this now and we're doing this on Saturday. And by the time we finish on Saturday, I suspect that we'll have like the next 2 badges, probably, right? Because we have 6 now. Oh, we have 6 now. So we have 1 more badge and Xerneas by the end of that stream. We can't actually. Baby Doll Eyes, you go. So I'm suspecting that we only have like 2 more streams for Pokemon left, which will be Saturday and next week on Saturday. And then we'll have to replace the streams anyway with something new. So in that same time period, it's probably a good idea to just like test out how the Minecraft streams do, because if they do well, maybe they just replace them on the Pokemon streams on Saturday for the time being. It could be, I don't know. I don't really care about the Meowstic, it's not mine anyway. Yeah, I understand. I really do understand. I do like the more modern Pokemon graphics in a certain way, because I like 3D graphics a lot of the time. This is what it comes down to. Also because I'm like slightly like amateur level, really amateur level. I'm not good at it at all. Into like 3D graphics myself. That like being some very basic modeling and mostly like lighting and like just scene composition. That's what I've been doing lately. So I now have a folder on my computer with like the first 6 generations of 3D models, which is great because I can just use those very easily, and it's amazing. Though that folder doesn't have any like rigging information, so I can't actually like pose them. Sadly, I'd have to manually add in rigs for that. But for that, when I need something that I want to rig, I just you get both anyway. I just have a different Google page or bookmark page where you can download them with rigging enabled. And actually, this is one I made over the last couple of days. So it's my end and starting screen for the stream for the time being. So that's why I do like the fact that everything is now in 3D, because I can use the 3D models for my own things. Because those are just like game ripped models. Those are not recreations made by me. Those are just like, I downloaded those from somebody who ripped them out of the game. But generally speaking, I did like the 2D graphics, and in my opinion there was no real need for Pokemon to go 3D. That was always the thing, like, oh, the console games have it in 3D, and that's like very fancy and very fun. And obviously the moment it went to Switch, it had to go to 3D. But in my opinion, there was no real need for it to go 3D. Like, a lot of RPGs still are 2D sprites, and that is fine. Not everything has to go 3D just because we have the hardware to do it. It doesn't have to. It can be a different genre, just like 2D and 3D platforming, right? It's not like all platformers suddenly have to be 3D because they're able to. There's plenty of 2D platformers out there, especially from like indie dev companies. Like small indie devs. They make 2D platformers like it's nobody's business. Well, it's their business, I suppose. But they produce a lot of them. If you look through like new releases on Steam, or like requesting press codes for upcoming games, like about half of them are 2D platformers. Because they're easy to make and cheap to produce, right? But the fact that 3D does exist doesn't mean that you have to use it in every single game. And I do think that I also preferred Pokemon was 2D, but I think it has its benefits. That being that I can rip the 3D models and use them for myself. That being said, we're going to save here. And we're going to continue on next time, getting at least one more gym battle fight thingy done. Actually, question, do I have 6 badges? I do. So we're going to probably get the 7th gym done next time and do Xerneas, and that next time will be on Saturday on the same time, same channel. Obviously different link because that's how YouTube streaming works. It's been a good one. See you later.